All right. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of How I Came Into the Truth.
Thank you.
Today we have Brother Nehemiah, somebody that's been in the Word for some time. I'd like to first and foremost welcome you and thank you for participating and giving me an opportunity to get your story, man, of how you came into the Word.
My pleasure.
I'd like to first give you about a minute or so just to introduce yourself to the people.
Okay. My Hebrew name is Jedaiah Israel. I'm originally from Patterson, New Jersey. But home is Albany, Georgia. Me and my wife relocated up this way in Atlanta about almost 4 years now. Got 5 kids, 2 through marriage. I got 11 grandkids, which I love to death. And now I'm enjoying being in Atlanta and being able to be around brothers who in the truth.
Right. Praise God, man. And praise God, the Lord has blessed you.
Right.
With a family, beautiful family, to have 11 grandkids, 5 children, and married. That's beautiful, man.
Appreciate it.
But you don't look like you got no 11 grandkids.
Well, they down south, so they don't bother me as much.
The Lord, they don't bother you as much. Well, the Lord took care of you, my brother.
Yes. I always tell people, life ain't been hard. I made some hard choices, but never been hard.
Oh, well, praise God for that, man. So Patterson, New Jersey.
Right.
Now, were you born in Patterson? I
was born in Patterson. I like to tell people if I would have stayed in Patterson, I would have went to Eastside High. The year Joe Clark,
Lean on Me school?
The year Joe Clark would have came to Eastside High, would have been a senior high school.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was now that school was where you were.
No, actually, we migrated down south. My mom was originally from Albany, but my biological father, he was from South Carolina, and my mom never told me the story, but somehow they met in New York.
Oh, okay.
Because my grandmother, she lived in New Jersey. My mom was going into the Navy. Okay. But somehow they met, and he convinced her not to go, and they got married, and they were staying in Patterson, New Jersey. And they had me after they got married. Then they migrated down south. I think they say we stayed in Virginia for a little bit, and South Carolina, his home, and then we ended up back in my mom's home, which is Albany, and that's where my sister was born.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that school, that Eastside High,
it's in
that's in
Patterson, New Jersey. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they actually shot that there for real.
Well, I'm assuming. Like I say, I always when I researched it and I realized that was 87 when he came to Eastside High. Okay. That was the year I graduated from high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So growing up in Albany, because when did you say, I hear you say you moved to South Carolina.
Right.
Biological father's side, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you have any experience in South Carolina, or was it just in passing?
It was just passing, because Albany's home, because I think I was maybe 3 when we moved to Albany. So that's all I knew.
Oh, okay.
So that was always home.
Okay, so you grew up in Albany, Georgia.
Albany, Georgia.
Okay, so how was it?
Growing up, I always say I was lucky, because, and I always say God, I won't say lucky, I say I was blessed. Because when it was my mom, I tell the story, last time I remember seeing my dad, I was 3. I might have been 3 or 4. And my mom was walking me down the street and had my sister in her arm. And I looked up, and at the hotel to my left, my dad was coming out the hotel.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Your biological father?
Biological father.
Now, he went to Albany as well?
Yeah, my mom was married to him in Albany.
And the last time you saw him,
coming
out that hotel?
Yeah, with a woman.
So they broke up?
Oh, yeah. After that.
After you saw him with the woman, or?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was
before that time.
They were still together then.
Oh.
But after that time, I never recall seeing him again. And it's funny what you remember as a child. I was 3.
It don't make sense at the time, but you can picture it.
Yeah, I can see it right to this day.
Yeah.
Right, to this day.
Wow. It's like I tell people I saw Bigfoot, they don't believe me. But, you know, I was like a year. Yeah. I know I saw something strange.
Yeah. But that was the last time. And then from that age till I think I was 9, my mom met my stepfather, who to this day I always say that's my daddy.
Okay.
He raised me. I mean, he took me in, and when he went somewhere, his son was with him. That was me. So
he took you on his wing.
Yeah, so loved the man to death. But once my mom married him, we was lucky, we was blessed because we was a middle class family. I mean, we always had not the best of everything, but we never really wanted.
Right.
And I always tell people during summer vacation, most kids at home doing the summer stuff, we traveled. We went to Philly, we was in Cocoa Beach, we went to DC. We had family vacations.
Right.
I mean, every year we would go to Six Flags. I mean, I went to Six Flags from maybe 12 till I was 17. I went to Six Flags so much I got tired of going to Six Flags.
Right.
And most people kids back in that time, you know, you might, if you're lucky, you might do something during summer vacation. That was our trip.
Well, and it's amazing you say that because I think around that time, me and you not too far from each other as far as age.
Right.
But I think around that time, you had more. It was more common to have a man in the household, whether it's biological or stepfather.
Right.
And those men from those times, they believed in vacation.
Right.
You know, I remember, like you say, taking the trips. We would go to south of the border. That was like our stop.
I remember that.
Going to Philly and Baltimore.
Yeah.
South of the border was the stopping point.
Yeah.
Getting the hotels, swimming all the time.
Right.
You know, going all over the country and stuff like that. Mainly East Coast.
Right.
But I can relate to that because back then it was a little different.
Yeah.
As far as the mentality of men back then.
Right. I mean, he ran the house. I mean, it's funny you say that because I look at these young fellas now, even guys who not my age but a little bit younger than me, when they with their women and they move in, they say, we split the bills. I can't split the bills. I'm the man of the house.
Right.
I mean, I'm supposed to take care of the house. That's my responsibility.
I understand.
And so that's how he brought me up.
Right.
So it's just these people saying, well, we pay half the rent.
Well, your husband and wife. There's no half.
You know what I'm saying?
No half.
I mean, my mom, my mom paid the electric, my mom paid the cable bill and bought groceries.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just like we help.
Right, yeah.
You know, help, but for the most part, that man is gonna make sure everything is whatever comes in.
Right.
He's gonna allot everything.
Right, absolutely. So
what about before y'all met him? Because you said your sister was born. Now, at the age of 3 up until 9.
It was just me, my mama, and
sister,
my sister. My mom actually got a radiologist degree, so she she worked at the local hospital. I mean, we had a babysitter, Miss Rosie. Because she was on a rotating shift, so she had to have somebody take care of us. So once her and my aunt fell out, she had somebody because we were still young.
Right.
So I mean, maybe between 6 and 9, them years, we had to go have a babysitter.
Right.
So we would go with this lady. We used to call her grandma. She take care of us, and when my mom get off work, she'll come pick us up. And that's
what about those early days? You know, between 3 and 9, before you met your stepfather. What about those days of going to school and going to church?
Well, my grandfather, my mom's dad, he would that's his church called Union Baptist, and Lord, if I look back on it now, and even when we stopped going, I mean, you talking about they was wide open. I mean, screaming in church, running around. You know, they do the semantics of what them old Baptist church was. So my granddad, every now and then, it depends if my mom had to work, he'll come pick us up and go to church. He'll pick us up in his station wagon, and we'll pile in and go to church. So that's how it was. But it wasn't a big thing because my mom, she was at work, and lots of times we just at the babysitter house playing and just having fun.
So how was it coming up in the Albany period then? Because now, and I'm asking that because Albany is like almost South Georgia.
It is. I mean,
you know, that's you know, we like I was talking to Brother Cam, that's from Valdosta, but he goes to church up in Albany, right? And he can, you know, vouch for it, and I can as well. But they still got cotton fields out there.
Well, the thing is, and you say that, I've never seen cotton fields in Albany. I seen them in Lee County, Leesburg, and I ain't see those till I was grown. Back then, I mean,
well, you know what? How about off I-75?
I-75, but you
see them on 75?
I see them on 19. We got 19. Well, it's Dixie Highway, goes straight into through Albany, but it's 19 once it get south. So you can go down 19. You can see plantations. You see cotton fields. But for the most part, you know, back in the 70s, the late 70s and the early 80s, you rode the bus. You know what I'm saying? So you don't ride too much on the
that type of stuff.
Yeah. And then, like I say, when we travel, we ride 75, but we come up north. So you don't see no cotton fields. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I was grown, and I remember riding through Lee County, and I said, man, I didn't realize they had cotton fields up here.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I never see it. And growing up, I used to laugh at everybody because, you know, how Albany was the big city in that area. You know what I'm saying? We had sidewalks, we had a mall, we had stores, so everybody.
That's college town. Is that college town?
Well, it's college town now.
Oh, okay. But
back then it was the biggest city around that area because we got small cities surrounding us, and we was the big. People say they going to town, you better get dressed. Grandma say she's going to town, we going to Albany. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so we thought we was big,
right?
Because everybody around us wanted to come to Albany. But I mean, it was, as a child, you know, we didn't have too many problems. That's I mean, it was everybody got along with everybody. You cut the food down the street, you get your butt whooped down there, you come home, they gonna call your mama, and you get your butt whooped when you get home.
Right.
That kind of, you know, we had Big Mama and all that, so it wasn't that much drama.
Well, we're bringing it up now, pushing it up to, bringing it up to when your stepfather came in. You know, how was that? Because bringing that stability, you know, and just speaking on the reverence you have for him, even now today,
right?
It must have really changed your life, like in a good way.
Yes, because the world opened up.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, he
took you outside of Albany.
He took us outside of Albany, and then because he came in, we had more resources. So we got to do stuff. We had routines every Saturday morning after cartoons. We'll get up, get dressed. We'll go to the mall. Mom would take us to the mall. We go around shopping. We get to, that's this place used to call Picnic Pizza at the mall. Every Saturday we go get Picnic Pizza. And we do that. We do some more shopping. We might go family house, whatever. But our family was, hate to say it, but we was a sedity family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, as a child, you didn't think much of it. Because when I went on my aunt's house, I played with my cousins. That was my cousins. I mean, I never thought about it, but then I hear my family say it now. My mom was kind of sedity, so we was sedity, and never realized it. I mean, because I think about, I didn't have, you know how kids go to school and they have, like, we used to have the Coca-Cola shirts and the Ashley Wash jeans. My mom ain't spend no money on that nonsense. Now, we went to Sears, you got your slacks. I probably had 2 pair of jeans in high school. I wore slacks, penny loafers.
Right.
Button down or polos. That was it.
And that was the style.
Yeah. So I mean, but I never thought nothing. I used to think we ain't got no money for buy me no SYG. What going on? You know what I'm saying?
You can't make him happy.
You know what I'm saying?
They should give you the best of it.
I didn't think that.
You get stuff from Sears.
Yeah.
See, you want the Ashley Wise.
I want the Ashley Wise, the Coca-Cola shirts. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get it.
The influence, man.
Yeah. But I mean, they allowed me. I played baseball every season. You know what I'm saying? Organized baseball.
Oh, that's good.
We got to do stuff, and when he came around, he made it more accessible. So I mean,
and we still rolling, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, he made life a whole lot better.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's definitely good to hear.
Yeah.
So now you getting older, right?
Right.
And I assume based on you knowing Jedaiah.
Right.
I assume you went to college.
Yes. Well, see, when I met Jedaiah, I had been in the military.
Okay.
I had came back, and we all stayed in this trailer park.
Now this is, so you graduate from high school.
Right.
Now, how was that, though? How was going through high school?
High school.
First, before we get to the military.
Okay. High school, now, we lived in a predominantly white neighborhood. Everywhere I lived after the 5th grade, we was on the black folks. So predominantly white, and so I went to back then it was junior high school. It wasn't middle school.
So, right. And I was just telling somebody that when I was coming up, we didn't have. I was telling Brother Chris, who was here a few weeks ago.
Right.
That we had junior high school. 7th, 8th, and 9th. It wasn't 6th
absolutely
grade.
Right. Absolutely.
6th grade was like by itself.
Well, see, for us, 6th grade was elementary school.
Yeah. When we. For some people, it was like that. For us, in some spots, you might have had it right by itself.
Oh, okay.
And that was like the transition. Go to junior high.
Yeah. So
some people was K through 6.
Yeah.
Right.
So we stayed on the east side, and I went to school where it was a moderate blacks and whites. You know, because at that point in time, the white folks stayed on the east side, and we only black. So. That's what I dealt with. So I grew up around mainly white folks, and my mom and dad worked on base, military base, so it was white folks everywhere. So when I got out of 9th grade was the last year when I was in 9th grade, last year they had 9th grade in junior high. So my mom talked my dad into buying a house. So when we bought a house, we bought it in another school district. So I was going to another school, and then on top of the school, I was going to was predominantly black. And you heard the stories. You go over there, them black folks gonna beat your butt. Them black folks are gangster. Blase, 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 blase. So all summer, I had like a 2-year-old. I don't go to that school. I don't go to that school. I called the school board. Are y'all rezoning? All summer. So I was in band.
How old were you?
I was in 9th grade.
15, 14 going to 15? Because that's around 9th grade, about 14 going to 15.
Well, I graduated when I was 17.
Oh, you was probably 13 then.
Yeah.
And you calling the school board.
Trying to
asking about rezoning.
Oh, they rezoned.
Oh my God, you knew too much. Well, go ahead.
So I was in band too. I played the drums. So band camp started that summer, and I mean, I probably weighed 85 pounds with people on my back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I get over there, and I'm new. So everybody knew over there, and they kicking with each other. And I always been, my mom, and I love her to death, but my mom made me kind of self-conscious because I was slim. You can't wear shorts, your legs too small. So I'm already, feeling some type of way.
Right.
So I get over there. But my biggest, I say my biggest gift is I can maneuver my way and I can get along with anybody. I can tell a joke, and once I tell a joke and you laugh, we can laugh together.
Right.
And I'm good after that.
Right.
So when I got on the drum section, everybody got to know me, and I was enjoying. I'm hanging out with the drummers, doing everything. So it was good when I got over there, when I started. But when school started, it was a different ball game. I didn't know all them black folks. I knew the ones that was in band, and I knew the white folks who rode the bus with me.
Right.
So I'll never forget, I was in an assembly one day, and all my friends, the black people that I hung with, man, they was like, man, we were looking for you. And I would say I was with so-and-so, so-and-so. I said, yeah, we should have known you with them white folks. And it never dawned on me. Those just the people I knew. But after a while, I got comfortable, and I was with everybody. And then the white folks in my neighborhood, besides, they was taking their children out. We ain't finna see you over there with all the black folks. You need to go to private school. So I was just with my people. And I realized that started the transition of them believing that they'll tell you anything. Don't believe everything people say, because I thought I was in trouble when I got over there. You know what I'm saying?
You had the impression before you even got it.
Yeah, that them black folks crazy over there.
Really?
Yeah. So, but I got over there. I loved it. I loved it, and I to this day, I call my school. I love that green and gold. Ain't nothing about it. I talk about all the other sorry schools Joker went through, but my high school was a school.
Man.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So now did you graduate from there?
Yes, I graduated, and I was a bad procrastinator. My mom, I paid for the senior cruise, and I hadn't took the SAT yet. And it's the end of the school year. My mom said, if you don't take that SAT before you go, you ain't going.
And for those who don't know what the SAT is.
The SAT is the test we used to take.
What is it called, though?
Scholastic Aptitude Test.
Right, they call it the SAT.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Right, I just sat down.
Right,
SAT.
Right,
yeah.
Everybody say the SAT.
Yeah, so.
Go ahead, you took that?
My mom made me take it before we went on the cruise. And it was for the local college because you took it at that college. I had to take it at that college because I missed all the ones you take to go other places. And even though I had in my mind, I'm going here, I'm going there, but kept putting off the SAT. So I took it before, and then I got into Albany State. Back then it was college, not university.
Oh, okay.
The historically black college. So
Albany State was? It was called college?
Yes, Albany State College. Just like Clark used to be college, Morehouse College, Spelman College.
Oh, okay. So Albany is a black college.
Yes.
Is it still today?
Yes.
Okay. I never knew that.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I'm a black college. So I went there. Of course, I made grades good enough to go there. So I went there, and my mom let loose of the chains. So I lost my mind. And when I say I lost my mind,
it's like a dog being tied on chains.
Yeah.
And you let go.
I'm everywhere. Right. I wouldn't go to class. I was in the game room playing spades, everything.
Like going to the Army. But go ahead.
So I think I barely passed the first year. And my mom said, I'm not going to continue to pay because they were paying out of pocket for me. So I would say, I'm not going to continue to pay. And my best friend at the time, he said, man, if we don't pass this semester, we going in the military. I said, okay, we going to go in the military. So it just so happens I failed. I failed badly this time. So my dad, he was on, loved him and the dad, he was on the board of credit unions. He sat on the board, and he was on the black man on there. So I always say I want my credit like him, because he just tell him I need to come get a $5,000 check on a loan that Mr. Williams will have it here for when you get there. Ain't have to fill out no paperwork, nothing but sign his name. That was excellent credit. Wow. So he took me down there. He said, we're going to get you a school loan. And we were sitting there talking, say, what you want to do? And I shook my head, took that deep breath, and said, I got to go in the military. I got to. I'm not doing nothing. I knew I wasn't doing that. He said, okay. So my best friend came over the next day, went down to the Air Force recruiter, and I enlisted.
Air Force?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
not a bad choice.
Well, I wasn't gonna be a Marine.
Not a bad choice when you look at Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. I almost had. Navy kept bothering me, but being on the boat that long. Yeah. I keep saying.
Air Force, I hear a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, that was a job. That's it. Right. Military. After basic training tech school, you were done with military. It was a job. Okay. So I enjoyed that. I was in the first the Desert Storm. I was in that one.
Oh, okay.
So I got
88.
No, this was 90, 91.
91. Yeah.
91. Now I was in there when we went and got Noriega. When we went down to Panama Grad.
That was 80. That was in the 80s.
That was 90. 89, 90.
Panama. Talking about Panama Canal?
No, remember now Noriega was a big drug dealer in Panama. Yeah. He ran the country. Bush put him down there, but they went and got him.
Okay, and you was in during that time?
Yeah, I was in during that time. I probably was in for about 6 months, and I went in the military because I thought they were going to give me some this. Because when they said, we finna go down to Panama, we're going to go to war, I was like, oh God, I ain't trying to go no war. so I was nervous. Right. But I mean, Air Force didn't do nothing. I don't know why I was acting like that. But young, I was 19. I ain't know.
Oh, yeah, you definitely young.
Didn't know no better. So I was in Air Force. I was in there. I went from, I was initially stationed in McGuire in New Jersey. I chasing a girl. When I got there, the war started. and me and the girl had fell out. And so I said, the guy told me, you put in for overseas long duty, you can get away from here. Because at that time, McGuire was a black hole of the Air Force. You go there, you just stuck. So I had to go. So I went to Japan. I went there for a little over a year. And after that time, they was talking about early out. And I got over in Japan. I was doing the same stuff I was doing at home. Just partying. I'd be late for formation. I couldn't wash my car first. I couldn't play the video game first. That was my effort. That was it. So I'm having a good time. I don't care. I ain't got to wash my car first. I can watch it last. It's going to get washed.
Right.
It didn't matter. But I knew I'm doing the same thing. And then on top of that, I kept telling my mom, I'm coming home to visit. Wouldn't come. Coming home to visit. Wouldn't come. Make every excuse in the world. So I had no desire to come back. But at the same time, I wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
So a friend of the family had promised me, do 2 years, come back, I can get you on in Procter & Gamble. I'm like, I have 3.5. I haven't had enough. And
so you did 3.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I came home and I came home, find out this joke had relocated to Cincinnati.
Who?
The guy who's gonna help me get on. Yeah.
Now at this point you were about 20?
I was
probably 21, right?
Probably 21, 22.
Because you went to school about a year, then went to the military.
Right. Year and a half.
21 at this time, coming back to Albany.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I came back, I went to school. I said, I'm going to school. This time I'm ready. Right. So got home, started going to school, and got a job. But by this time, I was arrogant. So the girls was everywhere. So of course, me being young, I was caught up in that. So that's when the young lady I met, she got pregnant with my daughter. So I'm in school. I think this was in '94. I'm in school, and maybe a couple years later, I'm living my life. I'm working at a plant, going to school, and I lost a job at the plant. And so once I lost a job at the plant, I was dedicated to going to school, and by this time, I had met JD. You know, we met in passing. We used to gamble together and stuff of that nature. And I met him.
And for those who don't know JD, we call him
Jedaiah.
Jedaiah.
So Jedaiah and Raquel. I had met them and I known them. I'm gonna say it was in '96, '97, but I'm like, well, it had to be earlier than that. Maybe '94, '95. I'm not really sure what year, but that's when I met them. And we hung out, party, barbecue, stuff like that.
So how did you meet them?
I think I met JD in the game room through somebody, and we started playing Tump.
Okay.
And Tump led to us hanging out, you know, and doing things. Like I say, we barbecue, party, every little thing, you know, college stuff. So we hung out and did that. That's how I met him. Living in the trailer park. And they had a trailer, and me and my friends, we had a trailer, and we'll go back and forth. And on nights, we have gambling night. And we just college kids doing what college kids do.
Right.
So that's me and JD.
So at this point when you all meet, right? Back to Albany. Right. As a young man, I see you have some type of background in the church, right?
Right.
Now, based on what I saw, you were more like usher, choir,
you know,
Easter speeches, and brought up in the church. Right?
Yeah, because when we moved, my mama found a new church. My dad was Episcopal.
And this is your, only father you really know.
Yeah, right. Man, I call my dad. He went to Episcopal church. My mom went to Institute First Baptist Church. So I was about 11. So we used to go there and every Sunday. Because by this time she had left the hospital and she was working on base with my dad. So she was off every weekend. So every Sunday we had church, every Sunday. And so being I had to join the usher board, I had to sing in the choir, of course, the speeches, all that I had to do it. And I mean, our family real close to the preacher and the preacher wife, and she played the piano and she ran the children's choir, so of course I had to be it. Me and my sister. Right. So every Sunday, I mean, it's so funny. Graduation day from high school, Mom let me have the car, went out, got toasted. Wow. We got a hotel room, and the boy passed out of the hotel room. Came home by 10:30 that morning. Oh, you know you going to church? I'm half toe up. You know you going to church. So I had to get dressed, drunk. Get dressed.
So you went to church drunk?
Went to church drunk and sat in the back because she went to college graduation. Albany State college graduation always on Sunday. So she went to graduation. I drove the car. Me and my sister, I drove the car and I sat at the back of the church. That's the only time I ever got to sit in the back of the church because we always sat on the third row.
Whoa.
Always on the third row.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I brought this up because I wanted to bring this up because before we get into what happened with you and Brother Jedaiah, the interaction as far as you coming into the Word, right?
Right.
I just wanted to kind of paint the picture for people to know that you had a background in the church, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's because I wanted to highlight that because you know you about to get taught, or you about to get introduced to something different than what you've been brought up in.
Yes, and you know what? And I look at it when I used to go to church on Sunday, and something you said back about Matthew, and you had read and it had caught you. I used to be in church.
Matthew 24.
Yeah, I used to be in church, and I used to be in church, and the preacher read his verse, and I keep reading. Cause I be wanting, what else is going on? I would keep reading it, and it never, you know, as a child you don't think about it, but as you get older, especially when you come into the truth, you be like, man, see, that was I was supposed to be. Cause I just kept reading.
You kept going.
I mean, you talk about he might read a verse. Now they love read about the prodigal son. Love read the prodigal son. So, but that stuff before it and afterwards. So I'm steady reading. And then my mom at one point in time, before we go to bed, we would read the Bible. You know, read a chapter or two. You know, so reading the Bible was always something that we did.
Right.
I mean, once I got in the military, church went out the window. But before then, it was always in church. And I mean, I even went, my dad, before he changed over, I went to a church with him. And it's almost like Catholic church because they give you that bread, you get on your knees and all that kind of thing. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But I'm with my dad, so it's cool.
Right.
So, but eventually my mom would convince him to come to her church, and he came to church, became a deacon and everything.
Oh, okay. So now you still talk to them today? They still alive today?
My father died in 2006.
Oh, okay.
So
definitely send my condolences.
Yeah,
I know that's a major
part.
Party.
Yeah, that one stung badly.
Wow.
Now my mom's still alive, but we got that. I love you, Mom.
Right. and that's, well, I guess we'll get to that.
Well,
sure
that's a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
But I love you, Mom. I know how you are. But you know, I always tell people, I love black people, but I love my mama too, and I don't want to stay by her. You know what I'm saying? Right. I can have enough of you, and it's not that I'm not antisocial, but I don't. I got bigger things, and I don't feel like fussing with my mama. I love her. I know. I respect her.
Right.
You okay? You doing fine?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
And we'll get to that because I got a feeling that might have something to do with religion.
Well, it has everything. My mom's special.
Oh, okay. Because coming up in the church like that, you know.
Yeah, that did.
That's why I brought it back to what was going on. Like we're not going on, but just kind of introducing the magnitude of you being involved in church.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, being on the usher board, like you say, doing the Easter speeches, being in the choir. You know, this stuff, this means you're a part of the church.
Right.
So when you meet Brother Jedaiah, now, Brother Jedaiah at that time, for the most part, was fairly new himself.
Well, when I met Brother Jedaiah, that was Flint. There's two different people.
Right. Okay. I got you.
That was
so y'all became friends. Then,
right.
So y'all became friends. Now, I'm assuming he got introduced to it and brought it back to you some way, shape, or form.
Well, this is what happened. Funny story. I was working at this restaurant. Cash flow wasn't working right. My car had died. So I was depending on friends to come get me so I can hang out. And I always said in my mind, the reason why things aren't going well for me because I'm not going to church and I ain't giving God no time. So I said, what I'm going to do is every morning I wake up, I'm going to read one chapter, and before I go to bed, I'm going to read 2 chapters.
Whoa.
So
every day?
Every day.
Okay. Even on party nights?
Every day. It's just rule.
Okay.
So I would go, somebody would take me over to our friend Carl's house. Carl, Marvell, we had a crew we used to hang with. And JD would come over with literature, but he'll give it to them. And I'll be like, hey man, can I see that? Can I take one? He's like, yeah, sure. This happens for quite a few times. And he'll tell you, it wasn't for me.
Right. He said that in the video.
It wasn't for me.
Right.
He was for them, but I kept getting it. And it didn't take long. It probably took a day or two. I got to Genesis chapter 7, because I was reading from beginning of the book. I didn't skip. I wanted to go from in the beginning to the end. So I got to chapter 7, and I read that there was 7 of the clean animals on the ark. 7. I ain't never heard that.
Wow.
So I kept reading, and then I'm looking at the paper now. Now I'm looking at the paper.
You're looking at the literature now.
Yeah, the literature.
Now this literature was coming from Elijah and his mom. You know that?
No, I didn't know where it was coming from.
Right.
But it was coming. So now I'm reading literature. So I started asking questions, but I'm reading because I gotta get an understanding of what's going on, because it ain't adding up.
Right.
I mean, I went to church and they didn't tell me these things. So so there's a problem. So the literature showed where the Hebrews were slaves and stuff, and I'm reading, and then I get the Exodus and I'm reading and the literature. So I started asking JD, and we just started talking. And I don't know to what extent one thing went to another, but we just started talking.
Right.
And so so then we it had got to the point where, all right, I had to ask my preacher. I went to him one day. I said, Easter. How you get 3 days and 3 nights from Good Friday?
What made you ask that question?
Because by this time I might have, because once you get to read, it get real good. Right. So I'm at Jeremiah now. I don't hit Jeremiah 10.
Oh my goodness.
So it's everything started to really change. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So because the Christmas tree garbage now, I know this now. So I'm hitting Easter now. I'm like,
now you still young, 21, 22, 23.
No, my daughter was born. I was 24. I might have been 26, 27.
Okay.
So now I'm reading. So I went to my mom's preacher. So I asked him, how you get 3 days for 3 nights from Good Friday, Easter Sunday? And he gave me this spiel, and I can't remember what, but I kept asking because that don't make sense to me.
Right.
And he said, and what killed it was, he said, that's the way it is. You just got to accept it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the whole thing changed then.
Whoa.
Me and you don't talk no more. Cause we ain't even you don't even figure you even gotta explain nothing to me. You just gonna tell me it is what it is, so you accept it or don't. So I said, okay, thank you, and hung up the phone. Never talked to him again. Well, I can't say never, because once I got older, I mean, a lot of things, maturity changed.
Yeah, right.
So,
right. But as far as that's concerned,
yeah, we was done.
You can't help me with this.
We was done. So I started talking to JD, and we had another friend, a guy named Brian Carter. And JD said, hey man, we're going to have lessons over at my house. Okay.
Now this is in Albany.
This is in Albany.
Okay.
So every Saturday, we'll have a videotape. We'll go over there, me, Brian, Raquel, and JD. We all be together. We'll sit down and watch the videotape.
So now you guys are college students, keeping the Sabbath now.
Right.
when this is not the cool thing to do.
Right.
You got football games.
Right. I mean,
I don't know if it was going on there.
Well, see, the thing is, by this time,
you got other stuff to do.
Yeah.
That you guys have
in the mind,
are trying to serve God.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game now.
Amazing.
It's a whole different ball game. I mean, I had friends that are friends from Albany. Not that I didn't go to school. Albany. Hey man, this club jumping tonight. Friday night, can't go to the club, man. I had girls, hey, come see me. Nah, I can't go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I laugh now, but back then I was like, I can't do it because it's funny, and I wish people always have the zeal that you have at the beginning, because you have that zeal. Ain't nothing in the world is hindered. Because I mean, at that point in time, I knew Friday night sunset. I was in the house. I was reading. Friday got a good read in. You know, you got about 6 or 7 chapters in. You know what I'm saying? Go to sleep, wake up, read some off. So you actually were really zealous about this. Adamant.
Intrigued about it once you start getting it.
Once I started getting it, it was on and popping. You could, JD, it got to a point Brian didn't go, JD then will come get me. And we'll be at the house all day. Raquel makes sandwiches. We sit there and we'll go over lessons. That's all Saturday. So
you guys became good friends.
Yeah, I always say if it wasn't for it's inadvertently he brought me.
Saved your life.
Absolutely, inadvertently saved my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So now that you and I'm gonna move forward. I just wanted to know, like, what was it, man? Like, were you at a time of life where you just got tired of life the way it was, or you have been looking for the Word of God?
I can't say I was looking. I knew that God was supposed to be in my life. Okay. That's what started me to read. Oh. Cause I said
like an emptiness, I guess.
It was more or less, you ain't the way you living. You ain't doing nothing. And you at least be moving forward if you had God. When I was going to church, in my mind, I was doing good.
Right.
But I wasn't going to church. Couldn't get to church. I definitely wasn't reading. So I said, I need God back. So let me start reading the Bible. That would be my substitute for not going to church. But I had said that it was going to be an everyday thing, because I got to get myself back to to God, so I can get myself back in some kind of order.
I can't keep doing this.
I got
going down this path.
Yeah, because I got to get myself in some kind of order. Because by this time I had 2 kids. I was still cutting the food, but I had a piece of a job. My car wasn't working. I depended on people to go here and there. It just wasn't working.
Well, what made you? Is it because? I guess I want to ask, what made you say, this is it? Because you going from going to church on Sunday, and now all of a sudden it's changing to Saturday. So what convinced you? Is it because you read it?
No, I don't. You know how the spirit is incredible. Because once I started, there was no. I didn't know nothing else. It was just I was focused. It just, this is it. I go to work, and I'm gonna tell you, the hardest thing I always tell people, the hardest thing for me to give up. I worked at a restaurant. I was a server at a restaurant, and they used to have buffalo shrimp. I love spicy food, and they used to put that on shrimp, and I used to eat that every day.
Oh my goodness!
Every day. So that was the hardest thing. Pork, I ain't care. But the buffalo shrimp, they were swagging, and I had to give those up. And once I gave those up, and it was quick. Once the dietary law came in, boom, everything. Okay, I understand. I'm supposed to eat this. I stayed away from fish for a long time because I didn't know which fish I could eat.
Right.
So once I was at that point, it was focused. It was it.
Yeah.
By this time, Christmas came through. My daughter was 2. She ain't get nothing. We don't do that now. We don't do that. We don't do. They used to, her folks used to say, you just cheat. You don't want to buy your kids nothing for Christmas. No, that's pagan. I ain't doing that.
Right.
It was just.
And I'm only asking that because, you know, being in tradition, man, sometimes people have like that, they have that, it's kind of hard to let go. But, you know, coupled with you talking to the preacher and getting the word from Brother Jedaiah, y'all studying together, I think the preacher probably made you sway more toward what you guys were studying, right?
Well, see, the thing is, when I was reading and going, the Sunday church, it had completely left my mind.
Really?
The thought of even going back never crossed my mind.
So what happened?
When I started reading, it was just it.
Okay, I got you. It came to life.
Yeah, I mean, I took the blue pill, right, and I came out the matrix,
right, and
I was just gone, and there was nothing that nobody could tell me, and I think I just asked the preacher just to see what he say. Cause by this time I'm cocky.
Your mind's already made up.
You don't know what you're talking about anyway, right, and I just want to see what you say, and I was actually trying, basically in my mind, explain this. How you get that? You can't do it. Ain't no way possible. So tell me why you believe that.
Right.
And then when he said it is what it is,
that was enough.
Yeah, that was enough. I mean, you don't need to talk no more, because in your mind, you swear you right. And you know, he was a doctor, a college professor.
The worst one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you could, I mean, I just, like I say, I was just trying. Because I knew about it. Man, you ain't talking about that.
Right. Well, once you got to that point, right, because now you're in the Word.
Yeah.
You know, you dealing with it faithfully now. So eventually you and JD split, right?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I came into the Word in September of '96. Me and JD was doing that, and the very next feast of Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, JD and Raquel said, "Hey man, we're going up to my mama's house. You want to go?"
No, that's in Atlanta.
That's in Chicago.
Oh, you went? There.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I said, yeah, man, let's go. So we went up there, and I never forget the after Passover. I always call her Mama Tina because she took me in and treated me. Mama Tina. Mama Tina. So she first one introduced me to lamb, and to this day I can't get lamb that way. She cooked lamb, and it was spicy.
Hot.
I always remember.
You got buffalo lamb instead of buffalo shrimp now.
Yeah. So 97 went there, and I talked to Brother Elijah, and that was when Shem was with him. Brother Elijah said, I want to get baptized. I said, well, we'll do it tomorrow. And I say, I'm kind of scared. He said, why? I said, because once I get baptized, I have little quirks, and I don't want to burn in hell. He said, well, then good, you ready. As long as you scared, you ready. I said, okay.
Wow.
So the next day we went out to Lake Michigan, and him and Brother Shem baptized me.
So now I'm assuming you probably 27, 28?
Yeah.
Around this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, praise God, man. Now you in the Word.
Right.
Got baptized up there in Chicago, right? Okay. Yeah. So now you in the Word. What are some of the things that you running into?
Well, family wise, like I say, my kids' mother's family, they just thought I was being cheap and being weird. So, and then I tried to talk to my mom about it, but she's adamant. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 hey. And my sisters, by this time, my baby sister, she was at NYU, and my other sister, she was staying in North Georgia, Dalton. So I really didn't conversate with them too much about it. I just tell them, and if they accept it, they're not. I was telling you don't eat pork. I would try to get them on the dietary law and tell them listen, the Sabbath is Saturday. But they was wrapped up, and so I didn't push it. So I didn't really fight with anybody when it comes to the truth, because I guess they see my conviction, and I stay away from you. I ain't got to deal with you.
Right. No, I'm not going to fuss with you.
I was at this time, I mean, I was struggling, going through hard times, and last thing I want to do is fuss and argue with you about something. You ain't gonna change me, and everything you got said in your mind ain't gonna change you. Right. So let me live my life and let you live your life. I love you, right? But I love you over there.
Right. So understood.
That's how I went. Yeah, so I didn't really have no big.
And that's not really bad because they still watching you.
Right.
You know
right. Yeah.
And sometimes it's best to set an example by letting them see how you live.
Because there was a point in time I actually had to move back in with my parents, and I was in the truth. I was in the truth. Good God, I was in the truth. So, I would close myself in this. Used to be my bedroom. I would close myself in the bedroom Friday night and Saturday. My mom come knocking on the door, but I'm in there reading. I clean up the room. House is clean, and I read.
Now you're observing the Sabbath.
Yeah, right. So I'm doing the Sabbath. And I used to laugh. She'll come home Sunday after church, and I wouldn't have done something, and she'd be cussing. I'd be like, "What you learned today?" You know what I'm saying? How you come from church cussing? What you learned? So after a while, she just left me alone. Left me alone. But I mean, for the most part, I ain't arguing.
Pretty chill.
It's pretty chill.
Good, man.
Yeah, pretty chill.
Praise God for that. Well. Now, you know one major part, right, about coming into the Word. One of the biggest pieces to the puzzle is Israel.
Right.
You know, the Israelites, which is actually making a very big comeback.
Right.
Now today.
Wow, they blowing up now. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's how you know God is behind it.
Right. It's crazy.
This thing is taking off like.
I mean, the rich people.
Yeah.
He's really throwing you in. He said, you know, it's hard for a rich man to get into the kingdom. Yeah. But when I seen that thing with Isaac Bruce, I was like, wow. Wow.
And for those that are going to watch this video, if you have not seen the Isaac Bruce Hall of Fame speech,
check it out.
Check it out.
That
was.
I mean, he said, I ain't got but a few minutes. So I'm finna speak to my brothers.
They moved my pad.
Yeah.
I ran the fast and 40 with helmet.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, I'm speaking to my people. But let you know, everybody else, there's a group I'm speaking to. So, yeah. So I thought that was amazing.
It was, man. It was very amazing to see that because it's kind of, which we don't need accommodation from man.
Right.
But it's validating the things that we said. And,
right.
You know, and what we've been preaching and how we've been living.
Right.
And it's becoming more common now today. But at the same time, it's a problem. Now you coming in at the time when you came in, it wasn't like it is now.
No. And you know? I feel a sense of I feel kind of bad for this new group because they got all this stuff. When I came in, we had the videotapes, we had the cassette tapes, and if you were lucky to be close to a camp, that's where you went.
Right.
That's it. Now they got YouTube, Facebook, they got everything, and everybody's coming in and telling you're a Hebrew Israelite, but I hate to say that's fanatics in everything. Oh yeah. And we got some brothers that
fanatics.
Yeah, they out there.
They do it a little too much, yeah.
And what's funny is until I moved to Atlanta and y'all would mention about this and this I never seen it. Never. I mean, mind you, I moved to Atlanta 3 years, almost 4 years. I've never seen the guys in purple before y'all mentioned it. I've just met someone who's a floating Sabbath. None of that. Cause I had Brother Elijah. First it started out Brother Bowie. And then Brother Elijah, because when I went to Gary, that's when I actually met Brother Elijah. And I had his videotapes, and I had his cassette tapes. I had some cassette tapes from Brother Bowie, but that's all I had.
Right, you didn't have all those different things.
Yeah, them different avenues. I mean, I probably saw the same, I listened to the same cassette and the same videotape about 1,000 times. But that was my Sabbath.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I read to my kids, because my kids, since my daughter was 2, this all she knew. So my kids grew up in the truth,
right? And
I was always looking, and I tell people, I know it's hard, and I was by myself, you know what I'm saying, and I always think it's a blessing, cause I went through a lot. I mean, I stayed in hotels, I've been homeless, but I would keep the Sabbath, and I kept believing. There's a reason.
Praise the Lord.
I mean, I've been in the truth since baptism when I was 20. in 97. So JD done probably left 98, 99. So about 20 years, it was just me.
Wow. Just you, wow.
Just me.
Amazing.
So
because we just hooked up when you came here for you.
Right. And yeah, and I called JD because I kept saying I didn't want to move to Atlanta, but I knew there was I could go to church every Saturday. So and my wife, she wanted to move to Atlanta. As soon as I got to Atlanta, she would go home. And Saturday I had to drive. And I remember the first time I came here, I was late, but I was trying to get here because I went to Stone Mountain. And wait a minute, this ain't the one.
Right.
So then I came over here.
Right.
And
when you came in, right? You know, how was it dealing with the Bible, finding out you was Israel? Like, how did it help you navigate through the scriptures?
I don't know if that was I guess I'm gonna tell you, it took me maybe 6 months to read it from cover to cover. And I read it with an understanding. When with JD, I knew who I was, but I don't think I correlated it in the Bible.
Right.
So when I started reading it the second time, it changed to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That making sense.
Well, it made sense, but I didn't see me in the Bible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just saw this is what God said. This is what He taught. These are the things that the kings went through, blase, and this is Jesus went through and the disciples and how it's going to end and Paul and all that. I read all that and I took that in. It's a lesson. But when I came back and I started reading Abraham, I was like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Shem, Abraham. Okay, now I know these are my people. So I read it from a history book, learning about myself then.
Yeah, okay.
So it came different than the second time I read it. Right. So then it came, I always say every time I read it, I learn more. So when I read it the second time, it was talking about me and my people.
You saw a lot different.
Yeah, I saw a lot different.
Okay. Well, what would you say, since you came in the Word, how has it impacted your life?
I do not stress.
Amazing.
I say, I mean, I always I tell my kids, God controls it all. So, what you stressing for? I don't. Ain't no need to be getting mad. I mean, even when I know, well, I might not know at the time I did something wrong, and I see something happen to me. Okay, I must have did something wrong. Yeah. God chastised me.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, don't do whatever you did again. Right. Don't do it no more.
Right, absolutely.
And so I learned, and I don't stress, and I tell it's hard. My wife would tell you, you almost have to. I mean, I don't know what makes me mad, what would trigger me to get mad, but it takes so much. And then if I'm mad for that long.
Wow. That's what the Word will do to you.
Man. I mean, you said so much peace. Yeah. It is so peaceful. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I do what I'm supposed to do and follow the commandments, I know my reward at the end. So I'm not going to let you lose mine. Yeah. I don't care who you is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I love my mom, but I'm not going to argue with you. Right. And then I will always respect you. So I'm not going to do that with nobody. I mean, my wife, she's not in the truth. I don't fuss with you. I'm not going to do it. My thing is, I can only pray that one soul is saved from His work, and I can only do mine. Right. Now I pray that everybody come with me. But if you don't come with me, ain't nothing I can do.
Well, you say work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Absolutely.
You know, and then it also talks about how, like, you know, you got a husband that's in the Word, or he believed. Look, he sanctified the whole house.
That's right. And
you know
if she willing to stay,
yeah, and
vice versa.
So and it's like I tell folks, man, because most people don't realize, most new people don't realize that you ain't got to throw it all away. Build on what you have with that spouse. you keep serving God, and eventually the truth is gonna win.
Right, every time.
You know, whatever the outcome. I mean, a lie may have to leave.
Right.
That person may have to go, but that truth is gonna stand.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, if you wise about it, especially being a husband, if you wise about it, you can win her into the word. Just got to be patient.
Right.
Patient. Just let it come. You know, but ultimately, like you said, hey, I leave him alone because the word bring you peace. I ain't got to argue. I'm not going to fuss. I ain't finna get my stress levels up, my blood pressure. I'm going to just take my time and I'm going to serve God. And hey, because we ain't promised to see another day.
Right, right. You know? So, and I live today. I live every day as knowing it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not finna, like I say, I'm not finna let nobody mess my blessing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, like I say, I hate that people don't see, but I mean, yeah, absolutely.
But what about people coming into the word? Now you've been in for
24.
Yeah, same as JD.
Yeah.
You guys, I think he's going on 25.
Right.
You going on 24 or 24 years? Because I think he was a little bit.
Well, he's probably a few months ahead of me, but we're both going 25.
So y'all both going to 25 years.
Right.
Amazing. That's a long time. So I know you've seen different scenarios that come up.
Right.
You know, from somebody that may have a good background, a good understanding on the word. They come into the truth. It may be a little different. Somebody who don't have any background in the Bible at all come into the word. It could be shock. Right. Or somebody that's in a, out, feel like they're in the wilderness by themselves. You being in the word 25 years, I know you've heard the different stories.
Right.
So from all of the things, the experiences you've heard about, and also the experiences you went through yourself, what type of advice would you have for people that are brand new to the word?
My thing is, I think Brother Elijah used to say, we used to talk about praying. He had a lesson on praying always. And my thing is, if you pray,
mm-hmm.
and like you say in the song, keep the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
You keep the Sabbath. Everything else gonna open itself up to you. I mean, it's a blessing to know the truth. All you gotta do is do the work. It ain't nothing hard about keeping the Sabbath. I mean, the dietary laws, that's probably the easiest thing. I mean,
right.
So I mean, everything else comes to you, and you don't gotta rush, because I mean, God will work it out for you.
That's right.
So just, I mean, make sure you do what you're supposed to do and you follow in the book. Everything, like I say, the first time, it took me two times to read it, but even realize they talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's patience. I didn't rush it. I just took my time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm truly blessed to be here today.
Praise the Lord. And that's definitely, great advice, because you have someone a lot of the times that, happen to be new to the word, and it's almost like I got to catch up.
Yeah.
And it's not. The Lord bring you in where He wants you.
Right.
Start from there.
Right.
Whatever.
And you're trying to rush. What you rushing for?
I mean, you got a foot in.
Yeah.
By getting baptized,
right.
Keeping the Sabbath, you already got a foot in the door.
Right. He gonna take care of you the rest of the way.
Yeah. The knowledge, that's a plus.
Right.
But you've already met, the requirements.
Right.
And that's repent and be baptized in the name of Jesus, for the remission of sin.
And something else I realized, don't think you're gonna know it all. Because I told you, what, a year and a half ago, the first time I ever heard the 70 weeks a day.
Yeah.
I've been in here almost 25 years. I heard it once. He gonna open everything to you.
In due time.
Be patient.
That's right. Wow, great advice, man. Great advice. So we coming to the end of the interview.
Right. I'm ready.
But before we get there,
okay.
With all these different, all the different religions that are in the world, you know what I'm saying? All the different religions, different beliefs, we serve the God of gods.
Right.
We serve the Lord of Lords and eventually coming back to this world as the King of Kings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The true and living God.
Right.
But on the other hand, you do have other nationalities that have different beliefs.
Right.
Serving other gods.
Right.
What type of impact do you think it would have on the world if they had a better understanding of the Bible?
You know, and it goes back, I always say, those people are stuck in the matrix. And if they're just, I mean, and most people, they're so set in their ways. And I don't know why you won't believe what you read. That to me throws me. Wow. I mean, if you read the cat went across the street, you ain't gonna say the cat seen a bird, so it saw the bird, so it decided to go across the street to get the bird. No, you're gonna read the cat went across the street. Why won't you believe what you read? And if the world decided, I'm gonna read for myself, I'm gonna stop letting. That first thing they tell you is don't trust no man, but every Sunday you stand up and trust that man that stand in front of you. Why? It doesn't make sense. It should make sense to you. I know it don't make sense to me, but definitely. So I think if everybody would just get the book and read it for themselves, the world would be a whole different place. I mean, we'll learn to love ourselves, because we as a community, I mean, we have yet to realize that, to ask, why are we in this situation? What is going on? What did I do? Or what did my people do for us to be going through this? And they never asked themselves. And if they took the time out to ask themselves and do the research, and like you say, it's all over the internet. I mean, smartphone, you can find anything. Right. So why is it so hard for you to do that? I think the peace that I feel within, if everybody would come to the truth, you feel that same peace. So
said a mouthful.
So it bewilders me how people can say they believe in God and I don't trust no man, but every Sunday you I mean, front row. Yeah. Front row.
Dogmatic.
It's crazy to me. So
well, thank you for that answer, man, because it definitely would be a better place. And soon we're going to see that, man.
Right.
You know, all those guys got to be destroyed.
All of
the true and living God.
Yeah.
It just behoove everybody to do it now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get it now. Right. While the getting good.
You had opportunity.
Yeah, right.
While the getting is good.
Right.
So, you already know. And I like when people actually take time to watch it so they can know, like I said in several ones before, make sure you're ready.
Right.
Because it's an easy question. Because,
right.
But, you know, when
camera's on them,
it's like, you forget everything.
Yeah.
You know. So, what's your favorite book and scripture? And tell us why.
My favorite book is James. I read James, and James seems like he's talking to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He's brother, it's gonna be hard.
Man, I did not think he was gonna. That's a good one.
Brother's gonna be hard.
Now I want to go read it. I read it, but now I want to go see. You know what I'm saying?
Brother's gonna be hard. But God gonna see you through. Just keep the faith, and He's gonna see you through. So I think, and that goes into my favorite scripture. The Bible humbles you. If you read it and you follow, it humbles you. And it's kind of emotional for me because I don't think I deserve it. It drives me crazy when I don't do, I think I should have done more. It hurts because I just don't, I feel how humbling it is that He chose me.
Wow.
He chose me. Wow. I mean, what made me so special that you chose me? So, and that goes back to my verse. Ephesians 1st chapter 4 through 6. But my favorite parts are 4 and 5, and I read those real quick.
What'd you say, Ephesians 1?
1.
Ephesians 1, I like to read it. Ephesians 1. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, verse 4. according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestined us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. He chose us from the foundation of the world. He thought I was special enough to choose me.
Yeah.
Man, can't get no better than that.
Can't get no better than that, man.
So,
well, I definitely, man, that's a great scripture. And with your words, man, of encouragement, you know what I'm saying, to those that are new, definitely some nuggets, man, they can take out of that, man.
I hope so.
You know. And I would like to, you know, thank you, man, for coming through, man, giving us your story, man. It's been good to know you. You know, every time I see you, man, you're happy. You know what I'm saying? So keep it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it that way. If I don't see you smiling, man, I know something wrong. Hey, you ain't got no gray hairs, man. Come on now.
Yeah. So,
you know?
I mean.
But thank you, man.
It's been my pleasure.
Hey, praise the Lord. And Lord willing, we can recap in the future, man.
All right.
All right. Jesus' name.
Thank you, bro.